Trump reelected? Are they trying to get Trump reelected? Seriously. I got a family to support. I got kids to feed.
Hey, look, these people don't represent our movement.
Well, I'm sorry, but they're with you.
Those are very honest words from yet another innocent bystander who was affected by a violent mob that is promoted by the establishment. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org. A lot to get into today, especially with the extraordinary violence that has been plaguing the United States inner cities. We have a very important breaking news update surrounding that, as well as more evidence suggesting what we've been saying for months now, that this will only get worse from here. If we have time, we're also going to be talking about the devastating news happening in Syria and the bigger breakdown of geopolitical relations between the United States and Russia. All of this plus more on an independent media organization that predominantly is being shadow banned, heavily censored, and of course is 100% demonetized. And because of that, one of the main ways we survive right now is because of the Brave browser. It's just like a Mozilla Firefox browser. It's just like a Google Chrome browser, but in my opinion and many others, a way better experience that rewards you and me with cryptocurrencies for using and adds another layer of privacy and security to your online experience, as well as just saving you a whole bunch of time and bandwidth. And because this is such a great free application, this is one of the main ways that we get sponsored as an independent media organization. Yes, you downloading and using a free internet browser that gives you privacy and gives you cryptocurrencies is one of the main ways that we are supported now. So check out the Brave browser, double check to make sure your rewards are going to the independent media that you're watching, so you could also support them just by simply watching them. And yeah, the link to this browser will be down below. Also, just a quick update, our one-on-one survival self-defense course this Sunday in Concord, New Hampshire is selling out fast. If anyone was thinking about participating, I would get your tickets soon. Now, one thing that we have to understand, that the violence that we've been seeing unfolding in major cities in the United States has been widely underplayed by the mainstream media, and whether it's Baltimore, New York, Chicago, Dallas, Kenosha, Minnesota, we have to understand that this violence is far more widespread than a lot of the mainstream media is telling you. Portland has seen its 90th day of consecutive chaos as more windows have been smashed, buildings vandalized, a number of people injured and arrested after continued clashes that are only escalating from here. Some of the images literally look like they are from a war-torn country. Some say a civil war is on its way. Some already think it's here, as we are seeing the violence escalate to grand proportions, where we have seen protest-related shootings in many cities, just recently, one in Pennsylvania, and of course another major incident in Kenosha, Wisconsin, that left 2 people dead and 1 injured. An incident with a lot of gory and violent images and videos that we will not be showing you on this independent YouTube channel. An incident that occurred after many nights of senseless violence that indiscriminately went after private citizens and their businesses that were looted and destroyed by mobs of people, which left some citizens to take matters into their own hands. Some of them came out with firearms, some on the side of protesters, others on the side of people trying to protect businesses. This, of course, after what many people are calling a very offhand police approach, where many times police officers are nowhere to be seen during the looting and rioting that has been taking place in that city. We are also getting reports that have not been yet independently verified that the governor of Wisconsin is rejecting calls for more law enforcement to the city of Kenosha, and now we had a very violent, tragic event that has led to the loss of life. The shooter in last night's incident was actually interviewed before everything unfolded.
We're protecting from the citizens, and I just got pepper sprayed by a person in the crowd.
So you had non-lethal, but you didn't respond.
We don't have non-lethal.
So you guys are full on ready to defend the property.
Yes, we are. Now, if I can ask, can you guys step back? Medical, EMS right here. I'm an EMT.
A 17-year-old named Kyle Rittenhouse, who described that he was out there to, quote, protect citizens, and how he was targeted by some of the protesters and pepper sprayed beforehand. Now, before the shooting that took place last night, you could clearly see Kyle running away from a group of people. One of them that looks like he threw a bag at him. There's been a lot of internet rumors about possibly a Molotov being thrown at him, but so far there is no evidence of that at all, and it definitely looks like an exaggeration. But in the videos that are being released, it looks like Kyle is being chased by a number of individuals, one of which gets close. We see gunfire. We see the 17-year-old Kyle react, saying that he, quote, just killed somebody. He then starts to run away when the crowd realizes what just happened. He is seen running down the road where he is met with other individuals, one of which that tries to stomp him out after he tripped and fell. Kyle then shoots. There's another individual who tried to hit him with a skateboard. Kyle then shoots him. Third individual who pulled a gun, which Kyle shot in the arm. Some people are saying the incident was an act of self-defense, while others are saying it was not. Police officers said that they were looking for this gunman, but that there's actually video of him running up to the police with his hands up, screaming at them that he just shot someone, and they literally drove away. Again, a very senseless, violent altercation that has now led to Kyle being charged with murder after the killing of these two individuals and wounding of another. Now, just like any event, depending on where you stand politically is depending on how you're going to see this event. Sadly, politics is more important than facts and reality. There's still a lot to find out about this entire incident. We only have grainy video footage. I would not rush to judgment, since of course this incident is adding fuel to the fire of the civil unrest and discontent that is only brewing in this country. The protesting, the civil unrest, the reaction to it has already left 30 plus people dead. The civil unrest literally has led to 30 plus people dead in nearly just 3 months. This is something that, of course, is being fueled by the mainstream media, being as hyperbolic, being as divisive, using these events for political brownie points, when, of course, they serve as severe ramifications for a lot of people that are being met by this violence that is only growing from here, and from my analysis will only continue to grow as long as we have the same continued activities by the mainstream media that knowingly is adding fuel to the fire, creating more racial tensions, and trying to excuse them at any cost. We even have more brazen individuals like Talcum X, Sean King, that are literally threatening to name innocent officers as the shooter of Jacob Blake until the police department names the officer that was involved in this incident. Again, the incident that happened with Jacob Blake that spurred all of this, we have to understand the police and prosecutors and government is being very tight-lipped about the actual events, the officer involved, whether Jacob was armed or unarmed. We still don't know a lot of important details surrounding this event. A very emotionally charged event, thanks to the mainstream media. And as long as we have individuals like Sean King, who, by the way, are using big social media platforms like Twitter to foment more unrest, literally calling for less peace, the same man who literally falsely accused an innocent man of a horrible crime, which later resulted in his suicide. As long as we have people like that in the mainstream media, the violence will only continue to grow and escalate from here. There's a reason sporting events have a policy where they decide never to show individuals who run on the playing field, mainly because it spurs on the copycat effect. We're having this, especially with the social unrest happening right now, on steroids happening right now, and unless that situation is dealt with, for sure, the civil conflict will only get worse from here. Now, of course, that is not the only conflict to worry about, as also we have new breaking news detailing how 4 American troops are wounded after continued clashes with Russian forces in another high-scale geopolitical violent incident that literally saw American and Russian troops use their military vehicles as bumper cars smashing into each other. This incident, of course, happening in Syria, where the United States has a very small presence near Syrian oil and gas fields that they are illegally occupying. Yes, Donald Trump, for some reason, has designated a small number of troops to protect a Syrian oil field, a foreign country's oil field, without their consent, without any justification, and is making deals with unknown companies to drill oil in this foreign country, Syria, which is saying that the United States is literally stealing its oil. And that's exactly what's happening. The Russians, of course, have a very close alliance with the Syrian government, and U.S. officials are confirming that a U.S. company was given a contract to operate and drill for oil in this sieged area. Yes, just when you think U.S. foreign policy couldn't become more brazen than it already is. And before we start making excuses for Donald Trump, we have to remember that he is literally making good on his word when last year he said, quote, "I always said if you're going in, keep the oil." And he said this specifically when talking about the troops that were left near the Syrian oil fields. Now, so far, the U.S. firm that was granted this contract, now still there are very little details and facts about the U.S. company that was awarded this contract by the U.S. government. There are some details that this oil might be used to help out the Kurds to develop their own energy and profit source, but that is, again, kind of very unlikely, especially with that action aggravating Turkey, a NATO ally. So those prospects are very unlikely, as well as the fact that they are literally stealing another country's energy resources. And this could be one of the reasons why we are seeing clashes that are becoming more and more violent between Russian and American forces. That's not the only geopolitical conundrum for the United States. We also, of course, have China that is saber-rattling, tit-for-tat major actions against the United States. As recently, the Chinese military just fired 2 missiles into the South Chinese Sea, warning the United States after the U.S. sent its military spy planes into a Chinese no-fly zone where the Chinese were conducting very aggressive military drills. Again, Chinese-American relations are something to look at closely. They have huge ramifications for everyone, not just in the United States, not even just for China, but for the rest of the world. And if you would like, I might do a full geopolitical update about everything that is happening on that particular matter. If you're interested in that, definitely let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, there's a Bill Gates project that is literally releasing 750 GMO mosquitoes into Florida. There's a lot of big pharma scams going around. The news this year has been extremely difficult to navigate. It is very fast-paced, but if you think I did a good job, let me know by sharing this video with your friends and family members. If it wasn't for you sharing these videos, I wouldn't be here. We're definitely not doing ourselves any favors by mentioning and talking about these important topics in the way that we are, since of course we get censored and demonetized and attacked for mentioning them in a proper context in order to inform everyone about exactly what is happening. We're taking these risks because of you, and we wouldn't be here because of you, and that's why we love you. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.